Hi people, more innovation by clicking as always and as usual. As always and as usual, you can tell what time it is. I'll be covering another pagan entity, specifically by the name of Hachiman. Now, Hachiman, long story short, based on my reading up on of him, me briefly looking him up and whatnot, because I was by coincidence watching a video on the invasion of Japan in ancient times or medieval times, early medieval times or pre-medieval times, whatever. Okay, a historic video of the Mongols when the Mongols tried invading Japan, or when they just outright invaded Japan. Now, Hachiman is a Japanese deity, and he also is he's a major god in Japanese religion and also Buddhism up to a certain extent and or similar. Um, you want to know all about Hachiman? Check the link in the description and or wait until the end screen for a video that I'm going to pin that explains who Hachiman is. It's an AI voice, so bear in mind that the voice might be a bit annoying, but still, I recommend watching it in times 1.5 to speed things along, provided you can follow it. The Wikipedia entry will be linked in the description of this video, as is usually the case for me in terms of how I operate. Now, anyways, I'm here to discuss from an occult perspective what Hachiman is all about. I rarely cover Oriental deities, so it's been a really long time if I've ever covered an Oriental deity. Either way, now Hachiman. Now, let me start off with his appearance. Hachiman, when summoning him, Hachiman appears as a samurai warrior, but one more dressed in mundane samurai clothing. So don't think of a samurai warrior that's going to war, but rather one that is wearing like a male kimono, I want to say, essentially the Japanese version of a shirt with with a robe. And of course he has his swords with him and whatnot. He also has a consort, which is a female samurai, I want to say. It's simply a woman. Okay. Not literally a female samurai, just in a manner of speaking. Just a consort, a female consort that he has with him that is dressed the way women dressed back then, ancient Japanese, in ancient Japanese time, in the ancient aforementioned Japanese time period. Um, and yeah, the vibe and whatnot that I get is just plain everything, honestly. The things based on what I read upon, the things that Hachiman was generally speaking worshipped for, he's known as the god of war. That warfare was a big aspect of him. It started out with warfare, if I'm not mistaken, if the sources are correct. Later on, the peasantry also started worshipping him. And he also became known as the god of agriculture and whatnot. And I did see all of those things in the background, but all of these things are more indicative of productivity. So usually when people think of a god of war and or agriculture, people think of those things in more of a black and white fashion. Warfare. People think of Mars, Aries, etc. And with agriculture, people think of the moon, Cancer, you name it, yada yada yada, etc. But with Hachiman, that's not the case. The It's like a telegram sticker essentially in the background. The visions I saw behind Hachiman were purely as a means of craftsmanship and productivity overall, in relation to all the aforementioned things he was worshipped for. Now, let's start with his alignments. Hachiman has strong mercurial and Venusian properties. With Mercury, it's specifically Virgo that he aligns with. That's by far his strongest trait. And the remaining traits are Libra specifically, hinting at Venus. Now, how that elaborated in terms of what that means, again, in terms of his personality and the things that he offers people that want to work with him. For example, if you're a magician or a practitioner, a spirit worker, you want to work with Hachiman, or you're simply a clairvoyant individual and you want to work with him. The emphasis that what he offers any practitioner, again, by far what he is skilled at in terms of what he was worshipped for is just that productivity. It's all about the refinement, 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 refinement. In one word, craftsmanship. So essentially, Hachiman is like the Japanese, or at the very least, one of the main Japanese deities or Oriental deities outright that would be able to be approached for for anything of a craftsman-like nature. So don't just think warfare or anything like that, because, like I said, in the aforementioned visions, when interacting with Hachiman and his physical appearance, the way he appears physically, is that the emphasis is laid on productivity. So when it comes to warfare, think of all the things where productivity enters the fray in regards to warfare. Think of the fashioning of swords, shields, thingy, um, all the weaponry that is used, um, and how much detail goes into forging all of these. That's what Hachiman is about. That's the aspect. So not so much like the shedding of blood and stuff like that. It's all about craftsmanship and refinement and top tier productivity. That's what Virgo stands for. In this specific context, it's all about the highest accuracy of detail, and that's what Hachiman offers by far. Now, for the remaining things that he can that he can bestow upon any operator or person that works with him or people that work with him, it's again more refinement, but from a Venusian perspective, specifically Libra. That's what the aforementioned Libra influence, or that's where the aforementioned Libra influence enters the fray. Um, and he specifically also offers a parental like guidance to people that work with him, as in if they need guidance in a certain area of life, or when it comes to bonding with people, interacting with people, as in, hey, I want to improve, the bond I have with my friends or boyfriend, girlfriend, husband, wife. Hachiman also deals with that, but not as a specialty. He can give you general guidelines on what you can do in terms of improving your relationships with people, such as being more open and honest and straightforward with them, depending, and it just goes on. Sorry, and and yeah, that's pretty much it, honestly. Like I said, his Virgo influence is the strongest. The remaining influences are Libra, so Mercury first, and then and then thingy Venus. Um, these two influences, let it be noted before I finish off this video or close off this video, is that it understand that in this specific situation, Virgo and Libra, Mercury and Venus's influences, they at the very least for the most part effortlessly blend in with one another because they all have this same thing in common, the refinement. It's all about refinement regarding work, which is craftsmanship, and overall refinement, as in making things as good as they can possibly be, regardless of what your objective is or anything like that. Yeah, and last but not least, if you read upon him and etc., and the way I did aforementionedly, you'll see that in the aforementioned sources I pinned, then you'll see that he also has a good deal of shrines dedicated to him throughout Japan and related, and that's it. Bye bye.